Well, we try and cater for almost all age brackets, and you know, we have some of the best brands in the world within the walls of the shop. Anything from Boss down to Ted Baker, through to Tommy Hilfiger, right down to G-Star, Super Dry, Tommy Bow as a local brand. Yeah, so we have a cross section of price ranges and a good cross section of brands.
Hello, and you're very welcome along to Shanahan McNamara Memorial Park in Doonbeg. I'm standing in the shade of the stand here in West Clare. It's still a beautiful day across the ground here and across West Clare. We're expecting an exciting encounter in this senior ladies football final between Banner Ladies and West Clare Gaels. Just a reminder of today's earlier live game here on Channel Clare. That was a meeting of Kilmurray Bricken and Milltown Malbay. Kilmurray Bricken ran out 6-7 to 1-11 winners in that 1 o'clock throw-in. Now we're playing for the James Lafferty Cup. That's again between Banner Ladies and West Clare Gaels. West Clare Gaels defeated Clare on the way to the final, while Banner Ladies revenged their final defeat to Kilmihil last year by booking their spot in this year's final. Over the next 20 minutes before a throw-in, we're going to hear from David O'Brien, who is chair of Clare Ladies Gaelic Football. We're also going to hear from Emer O'Connor of Cool Gaels and we're going to go first to the managers and mentors of both West Clare Gaels and Banner Ladies.
Someone had turned to me in mid-January and said that we wouldn't have been playing football for the summer months, I'd have probably laughed at them and said, "You're having a laugh." I know it was very frightening for a lot of us when we got the go-ahead to go back on the 29th of June with our clubs, because we wouldn't have been in contact with each other, so it was that bit worrying factor. But I know for myself, and I know for Western Gaels, it's that bit of appetite that we all needed. We had that break, we had the couple of months, and now it's just hell for leather and see what happens.
This year I think we started training January, February time, and it was going really well, and then to kind of shut down all of a sudden was kind of a bit disappointing. But yeah, girls did their own thing over the lockdown and were very good, and sure once we were like go back training, I suppose it was great this year. You know, County was put on a bit of a break, so like we could go back training with our clubs, and it was great. And once we started back training, it's been flying, so we look forward to next weekend.
They haven't been in a county final in 5 years, like, so it's new to most of the team, half the team that's coming through there, because the West Clare Gaels have been building over the last 4 or 5 years. So it is new to half of them, like, but it is a good feeling, yeah, to be preparing for a county final, yeah.
Well, in fairness now, you'd have to be motivated as last year, like we knew the day was coming we would be beaten, like, but like we didn't expect it, and in the manner we expected, like we were totally outclassed and outbullied. And it's like when you go into a restaurant, you get 10 good meals and the one bad one you get to be able to remember, like, so. But like it hurt us now, you know. But in fairness, Kilmahoe, they were worthy champions and they had the homework done us. They really had the homework done us, and they beat us on the day, and there's nothing we could do about it.
People say like what keeps you motivated and stuff, and as I said before, like this year now it might be someone else's first time in a county final, and I suppose you want to win it for them as much as you want to win it for yourself, so that's what keeps us motivated. Like the young girls coming through, and then you don't know how many years the older girls, I won't name them now, but the older girls left, so you want to do for them as well, you know. So that's what keeps us motivated.
We believe what we can do. We believe in our management, and we believe in each other. And you know, when you have that and you have everyone on the same page, it's really easy as a group of girls to just come and train. And I think it's definitely easier not having girls being pulled away to county trainings and stuff like that. You have your full panel there, and when you have your full panel at training, it gives that girls that bit of appetite and that bit of work that we all need as a group.
Oh, after last year, anything is possible, you know. On any given day, sure, a final is a final. It's 2 teams, it's 15 versus 15, like. It's how you reacted, like, you know. Anything is possible on the day. With sport, is it? We all have hit you said one time there. One common team at a match, you could look away from the match, you said, for 30 seconds you could miss the best move of the game. You know, so anything is possible on the day, but we have to be ready for it and tuned in.
Well, sure, we have no choice. We give it everything we have. Like, we know what the Banner bring to the table. The last 10 or 12 county finals, they've won 10 of them. It speaks for itself. They're practically a county team, you know. But we'll bring our heart, we'll bring our fire. We have a couple of forwards, we're well able to defend, so we'll bring what we have to the table and see where it takes us.
This is where we wanted to be at the start of the year. We set out a target to get back to the county final, and I suppose that's where we are now. We're a week out from it, so just looking forward to it. And as you said, yeah, I suppose losing last year was probably a big shock to a lot of people, and I suppose a bigger shock to ourselves. It didn't go well for us on the day, and that's what we had to accept. But yeah, no, we're highly motivated now this year to get back on winning terms and winning ways. So
the opposition we're going up against, they're a very good side, so we're just going to give it a blast, and we are just delighted to have gotten this far in the campaign ourselves. And I think it's a real achievement as part of our own club. With the last couple of months that everything has gone on, I think we're going to give it our all, and that's all we can expect of our team, is just to give it everything.
It's county final at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many we've won, or like they haven't been to a county final in a few years, but they'll be gunning just as much as we are. You know, they'll throw the kitchen sink at us now, so we just have to prepare for that, and we've prepared well so far. So we've 1 week left, and yeah, we're looking forward to it now, and it'll be a great match.
But there'll be 2 men missing on Sunday, though, I mentioned. 2 men, a West Clare man, Kieran Harvey, and our own man, our own Michael Collin, Michael McInerney. They'll be missing Sunday. They were 2 great friends of mine. But they'll be missing Sunday, so hopefully they'll be looking down on us and on Clare ladies football in general.
So that's the views of the managers and captains of both West Clare Gaels and Banner Ladies. I'd just like to remind you that today's coverage is sponsored by Clare County Council and Visit Clare. Thank you very much to both of them for their support. We'll shortly be hearing from David O'Brien, Chair of Clare Ladies Gaelic Football. But first, I'm joined by Emer O'Connor of Cool Gaels and of the Clare Senior Ladies football team, and the football team's manager, that's James Murray. James, if I go to you first, we're looking at West Clare Gaels haven't won a title in 10 years. Banner Ladies have won consecutively from 2011 to 2018. Last year, they heavily defeated by Kilmehel in the final. In that team talk, you heard them talk a lot about the hurt they felt from last year's defeat and the disappointment at their own performance. So, do you think that's going to contribute to them righting a wrong today?
110%, Mark. To be honest, they've been completely focused, from the start of the year. When all the teams went out on the Challenge Game circuit, they didn't play any other team in Clare. They went and played the All-Ireland finalists, not once, but twice, to get themselves prepared for it. They probably themselves, they were probably at 65-70% last year. Having won probably 8-9 titles, becomes a little bit monotonous. And I suppose from their perspective, they definitely took the eye off the ball, and Kilmehel probably played to 110%. And hence it was a really comprehensive victory. It wasn't just a 1 or 2 point defeat. And I suppose in fairness as well, they had a couple of injuries going into the game. But last year is last year, and they're fully focused on this year. And their 3 performances to date have been nothing but top class.
Okay. West Clare Gaels could become, you could say, coming in under the radar a tiny bit. They haven't won it in 10 years. Banner Ladies are the favourites, there's no doubt about that whatsoever. So what are West Clare Gaels going to bring to today's game, do you think, and could they upset the apple cart?
Well, I suppose the first thing, what has got them to the final, I would probably say they probably have the second best forward line in the county, in relation that they're playing Cueva Harvey probably in the forwards now. They have Fidel Marinan, Niamh Larner is a very good club player, and also Becky Madigan would have been on the county panel, and that's what got them to where they are today, in that they can put the ball over the bar and they can put the ball in the back of the net. And I think they can match the Banners' vaunted forward line. But the big question for me is, will their I suppose 7 defenders, because they do play with a sweeper, will they be able to hold the Banners forwards? That's the big question on whether they will be able to compete, because I do expect them to be able to put up a score on the board.
Okay, thank you, James. Emer O'Connor, James mentioned some of the players we should be looking out for in the West Clare Gaels, both sides combined. Who do you think we should be looking out for today?
I suppose just to start with the Banner, I suppose the obvious one is Niamh O'Dea. She's a top class player. She's very hard to, control. She racks up a lot of scores, so I suppose they'll have to get grips on her anyway if they want to keep the scores down up front. You've Grania Nolan then as well, Niamh Keane. They're very strong down the middle. You've Laurie Ryan centre back, and Louise Woods and Louise Henchy then in the midfield, so they'll be great drivers going forward as well. And going to West Clare Gaels, you have the 4 Harveys, they're influential with West Clare Gaels. They're great drivers as well, they'll keep the players going, and Ciara's great in goals, she's really vocal, she'll be given plenty of instruction to her backs out the field. Cueva Harvey is great to go forward as well, so they'll have to have someone on her to keep her back as well.
Plenty of names to look out for there. I think we're close to naming 30 at this stage, so an exciting encounter ahead. I know that both yourself and James are on co-commentary today with our match commentator Peter O'Connell, but I am going to put you on the spot right now. I'm going to ask you to call it.
I suppose you have to go, I suppose the Banner are the overwhelming favourites, but West Clare Gaels, I suppose they'll have great heart and great fight, but I suppose whether that will get them through the full 60 minutes is the question.
There is a politician in you, there's no denying it. James, call it, and I want you to be ruthless. I want a team.
Well, I will say the Banner, but I suppose for me, the longer West Clare Gaels can stay in the game, it was a bit like Kilmehel. West Clare Gaels will hit their purple patch. So if they can keep it tied up to the first water break, and probably unsettle the Banner, and keep it very tight, hopefully that will make the game competitive. Because as I said, they do have the forwards up front to get a few scores. So I suppose ultimately the Banner, but the longer West Clare Gaels can stay in the game, the better.
Okay, I think they both said the banner. I'm not entirely sure. Emer, James, thank you very much. You can make your way over to the commentary box. We'll be heading over there shortly to Peter. But right now we're going to hear from David O'Brien. David is chair of Clare Ladies Gaelic Football.
It's always our showpiece every year, I suppose, to finish off the year in our championships. It's been a difficult year, as everyone knows, with the COVID and the whole lot. We didn't, I suppose, in June envisage we'd be playing football in September, so it's a great boost for everyone, for players and mentors and people involved in football. It's absolutely brilliant to be playing here. And to Doonbeg have always been good to us, so with league games and county finals and stuff, as every other club are, but it's good to be back here again this year again. Kilmurray came back into the grade again. It was always looked to be in the cards, and it's proven to be for the finals. Two intriguing finals with Banner and West Clare Gaels. As you said, in the senior will be intriguing as well, because I suppose last year proved that Banner is such a great team, but teams can be beaten. So West Clare Gaels will have to really perform, I suppose, to play such an excellent team as a Banner. And Milltown and Kilmurray, I suppose it's a tough one to call, because it'll be so tight, so close, so rivalries and the whole lot between it, but equally two games will be very interesting games, hopefully.
You must be fairly happy with how things have gone, given the year that we've had. You opted for Monday evening championship matches, and it seemed to work very well. Clubs knew exactly when they were playing.
Yes, it seemed to work very well, yeah. A good relationship with the Camogie as well, and the whole lot, it all worked well. But from the board point of view, we're really thankful to the clubs for playing games on time. I know we had a couple of issues with weather and stuff like that, which no one could predict, but every other game has run off, even with the underage games as well, have all run off very well. So it's great credit to the clubs and management in the clubs and the club executives for really pushing that forward to get the games on time, so we could come to a stage like next Sunday, when games are being played on the appointed time, and our showcase games are really being shown off as well, which is great.
So that's the views of David O'Brien, who has miraculously appeared alongside me for a live version of what we just saw. That was you speaking last Sunday. I think it was a blustery day here in Doonbeg. Different situation today. It is positively summer-like in early autumn. Did you think we'd get to this point maybe a couple of months ago, that we would be lining out on a summer-like day with a very successful intermediate final in terms of how it was managed and run and how it was played? Hopefully the same again.
Hopefully more the same, yeah. The intermediate final went off very well. Real credit to everyone involved. And like you said, this Sunday is a beautiful day. We couldn't have asked for better to be in West Clare. It showcases our games like we want to showcase them, in the right way, positive way, and that's what we look for in the games. And we obviously looking for the quality in the performances. Like I said, in the first game was a brilliant game. Credit to both sides, in fairness. I know the scoreline mightn't have been reflective, but it was a great game. Okay. So well done to all.
And great credit to David O'Brien. He's like a hotel manager at the moment, going around managing affairs, sorting out tables. Everything has been marshalled very well. So well done to you and your team, David.
No, thanks a lot. And again to Channel Clare and every local media platform, print and digital. We're really glad to have you here and glad to have you involved.
Excellent.
Thanks, lads.
Thank you, David. That is the views of David O'Brien. We're going to take an ad break now, and after that we'll be hearing from our match co-commentators. That's Emer O'Connor and Anne-Marie Callanan, along with James Murray. But we're going to take an ad break. Back to you in a few minutes.
At a time when we must stay at home and you can't be in that special place you love, all you can do is dream of being there. Imagine the rugged beauty of our national park. Picture the majesty of our great cliffs. Hover over our tranquil islands and drift away on our waterways. Dreaming of the place you love is one thing. Tasting it. Feeling it, smelling it, experiencing it. Those are the special moments that dreams can't buy. Don't worry, we're still here, ready to make your dreams a reality. When you can't be in the place you love, dream of Clare. We'll see you soon.
Well, we try and cater for almost all age brackets, and we have some of the best brands in the world within the walls of the shop. Anything from Boss down to Ted Baker, through to Tommy Hilfiger, right down to G-Star, Super Dry, Tommy Bow as a local brand. Yeah, so we have a cross section of price ranges and a good cross section of brands.
And you're welcome back live to Shanahan McNamara Park here in Doonbeg. Absolutely beautiful weather conditions for the 2020 Clare Ladies Senior Football Final. Banner Ladies up against West Clare Gaels. This is Peter O'Connell broadcasting live on Channel Clare, and of course we're bringing the live stream in association with Clare County Council and Visit Clare, and I'm delighted to be joined by our senior final analysts Emer O'Connor of Clare and Cool Gaels, and by Clare Ladies Football Manager James Murray. We'll very quickly run through the starting teams. Wearing number 12 Ciara Corbett, and a full forward line of Niamh D, Aoibhinn Malone and Aoibhinn Ryan. West Clare Gaels in line out with Ciara Harvey in goals, Sophia O'Callaghan, Sarah Marnin and Michelle Marnin in the full back line, and I'll run through the rest of the West Clare Gaels team in a minute. We're having a minute's silence here in memory of the late Kieran Harvey at the time of his untimely death. Of course, Kieran was the chairperson of the Clare Ladies Football County Board, and also, of course, Banner Ladies lost a great clubman in Michael McNerney as well. So two huge losses, first of all, of course, to their families, and also in terms of sport to their clubs and their county, because across the board they made an absolutely lifelong contribution to Clare Ladies Football, and indeed to many other organisations throughout Clare as well. So an impeccably observed minute silence here in Doonbeg. We're closing in on 4:30, and the referee Michael Talty blows his whistle, and a round of applause in memory of both men. I think we're going to pause for the national anthem in a second. West Clare Gaels, very quickly, tell you the team in a sec. We'll pause now for Oran Naveen. West Clare Gaels starting 15, they've got Ciara Harvey in goals, a full backline of Sophia O'Callaghan, Sarah Marnan and Michelle Marnan, and in the half back line Anya Maloney, at centre back Ruth Ferguson, and wearing number 7 Ciara McQuaid. Midfield Grania Harvey is partnered by Fidelma Marnan. The half forward line Colette Canary, Quiva Harvey the captain at centre forward, and Eva Lynch wearing number 12, and a full forward line of Colette Canary, a full forward line of Niamh Lardner, Becky Madigan and Shauna Harvey. James, looking at the two teams there, obviously West Clare Gaels are probably going to look at trying to curb Niamh O'Dea in particular. What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, well, I suppose to be honest, Peter, in their 3 games today, they've played with a sweeper. Shauna Harvey comes back to pitch, and they're used to playing with 7 defenders, so it won't be anything new to them today. But on the other side, I suppose they have the quality, with the 5 forwards that they leave up, in particular, Quiva and Becky, and Niamh Larrin is very, very experienced. She was on the team in 2010 when they last won it. But like on the other side, there's quality all over the place. From Clare Heher, who was fullback for Ina Kinnamola last week. Emma O'Driscoll has an All-Ireland medal, all the way up through to Niamh O'Dea and Aoibhinn Malone and Aoibhinn Ryan in the full forward line.
From West Clare Gaels' point of view, Emer, they're going to have to play their own game as well. They can't completely focus on stopping the Banner from playing. Yeah, absolutely. I suppose, they'll be having the sweeper back, but they're going to have to attack in numbers then as well when they do break forward, and support each other, and if they can get it into their forward line as well, they have good forwards inside that are penalty capable of scoring as well. Absolutely perfect weather conditions, very, very light breeze, but it's not going to be of any significance whatsoever. Michael Talty, the referee from Kilmurray Bricken, he's getting ready to throw the ball in. As the teams line up, we can see that Aoibhinn Malone is going to be starting in the middle of the field for Banner Ladies, and Colette Canary, wearing 10, doing likewise. She's starting in the middle for West Clare Gaels. So we're seconds away from the 2020 Clare Senior County Final. The ball is thrown in, and immediately West Clare Gaels win a free. Free one there by Fidelma Martin, went down the ball and seemed to be pushed in the back. Michael Talty says that's a free to West Clare Gaels, and they're going to try and hold possession here straight away. Shauna Harvey picks it up, plays a 1-2 with Quiva Harvey. Quiva Harvey breaking forward, that's a good run and a lovely ball as well in front of Fidelma Martin. She's in on goal, 1-on-1 with Emma O'Driscoll, and what a save from Emma O'Driscoll. Got her right foot to the ball, out for a 45, 30 seconds gone. James, great attack. Unfortunate about the finish from West Clare Gaels' point of view. Yeah, their main 2 marquee players, Quiva Harvey and Fidelma Martin, opened up the Banner like a knife through butter. But in fairness, Emma O'Driscoll, with all her experience, made an unbelievable save. Absolutely top class save, and that's why she's such a good keeper, Immer. Yeah, she's a lot of experience behind her. She's years around the county team, so she's going to be hard to beat. There'll be no easy goals going in. Yeah, she stood up, didn't go to ground, and got the leg to the ball, out for the 45, which has been taken by West Clare Gaels, and have held on to possession. Colette Canary has it now, pops it off as far as Fidelma Martin. Fidelma Martin hops it, solos, has a bit of space in front of her now, hops it again. She's been well shadowed, but she's been quite patient. But that's an absolutely magnificent block, great block down by Banner Ladies by Louise Woods. That was a super block, and Niamh Keane has it now. Niamh Keane taking on Fidelma Martin up along the left hand side, turns in field, there's a bit of space opening up, good ball in, 2 players go to ground inside, and Michael Talty feels that the Banner Ladies full forward was fouled, so that's going to be a free in, and it's going to be an easy tap over free for Niamh O'Dea to put over. And James, that was unless she's going to take it quickly. In fact, Niamh O'Dea has handed the ball to Grania Nolan, the captain, and she's just on the 21-yard line, and we've had just over 2 minutes, and presumably Grania Nolan is going to steady herself and put this over the bar to go straight over the bar. And the free, James, was it definitely a free from your point of view? Definitely was, but I've just seen Peter, Grania Harvey is lined out at midfield, in all their games for West Clare Gaels, but she's picking up Niamh O'Dea today, which she plays cornerback for the county team, so she'll be well used to playing there, so hopefully Grania will curb her influence. Sinead Power wins the kick out. She pops it off as far as Louise Hinchy. Louise Hinchy now taking on Collect Canary. Thought it might have been a free. Michael Talty plays advantage, and Niamh Keane has now for Banner Ladies. They're holding on to possession well. Niamh Keane spreads the play to the far side. Great ball over as far as Leisha Ryan attacking from right half back. Leisha Ryan in towards Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea bounces once, turns, and on her much feared left foot, good high ball in, but it was going wide. But Avian Malone caught it, but the umpire said it was. That it had crossed the line before Avian Malone caught it. Avian Malone had a magnificent game for Corofin in last week's Junior A county final, winning player of the game. The kick out taken by Ciara Harvey out towards the sideline. Western Gaels clearly trying to spread the play as much as possible, but the ball goes out over the sideline without anyone getting it, and the line ball is taken quickly in towards Niamh Keane. Niamh Keane very lively early on. She pops it in field. Louise Hinchy involved now, playing a 1-2 with Ciara Corbett. She passes off as far as Gráinne Nolan, and Gráinne Nolan puts that over the bar. Nicely worked score by Banner Ladies, and I suppose that's just a sign that if Banner Ladies are allowed to play Emer, they're going to take full advantage every time.
Yeah, they're attacking at speed there now. There's constant runners coming through, so that's very hard to defend. So they'll just have to try and get on top of that now.
Ciara Harvey goes for the far touchline this time. That was a good kick out, and she found her sister Caoimhe Harvey. Western Gaels now attacking through Shauna Harvey. The Harveys linking up nicely. Shauna Harvey looks up with her ball in, not the best. It evaded the inside line, and Banner Ladies trying to break out. Ciara Corbett wins it, but Ciara Corbett's ball up the middle. Well, I was going to say it wasn't the best, but Niamh O'Dea made it look like a great pass because she was out like a rocket. Won it, crossed it as far as Niamh Keane, but Niamh Keane spills it, and it's picked up by Anya Maloney, the Western Gaels right half back. She wins a free, and that was good defending there from Anya Maloney. Anya Maloney takes the free now, pops it in field, where it's picked up by Ciara McQuaid. Ciara McQuaid tries to spread it wide, and she tried to find Caoimhe Harvey, but that ball has been cut out by Laurie Ryan, and it's free for Banner Ladies in the middle of the field. Niamh Keane, the recipient of the quick free. She's been involved in an awful lot of the play early on, and has distributed the ball quite well too. She gives it in as far as Avian Malone. Avian Malone goes to ground, gives it back to Niamh Keane. Michael Talty is playing advantage over now. Niamh Keane takes on 3 or 4 players, pops it in as far as the corner forward. Avian Ryan back as far as Avian Malone, and that's straight over the bar. And that is a seriously good point, James.
A very good point, but to be fair, Peter, the Banner are putting a massive squeeze on Ciara Harvey's kick out, and she's been forced to go long 3 times. And I feel that if Western Gaels are to get out, they need to be looking for a short kick out.
Ciara Harvey again now this time goes down the middle, but again not a good kick out, but it bounces luckily over the head of the Banner player, and it's picked up by Sinead Power, who's fouled. And free taken by Caoimhe Harvey. Caoimhe Harvey bangs it forward, but that's not a great ball from Caoimhe Harvey, and it's cut out by the Banner, and Sinead Power has it now. She pops it upfield as far as Louise Hinchy. Louise Hinchy, the space opens up in front of her. Niamh Keane is out to her left, but that's an excellent tackle. Well, I thought it was a good tackle from Collect Canary, but the referee says that it was a foul, Michael Talty, and I suppose it probably was marginal, to be fair. The free is taken by Niamh Keane. She spreads it to the far side of the field, where it's picked up by Ciara Corbett, wearing 12. Ciara Corbett getting stolen past the Western Gaels 45 in towards Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea's been picked up now by Gráinne Harvey. Niamh O'Dea still on the ball and overcarries Michael Talty, quite strict in that, so that's good defending by Western Gaels. And nice free as well up as far as Caoimhe Harvey. She's in a bit of space in the far touchline. She's going to have to mind the ball a lot better than that.
Yeah, the delivery of the ball in, they seem to be getting turned over there, so they just need to work it in that bit better. But it's a very fast-paced game so far. Every ball has been taken quickly.
Yeah, and Banner Ladies building well from the kick out. Avian Malone out full forward. She's looked very, very good again inside full forward, as she did last weekend, taking on the full back. Pops it off as far as the corner forward. Avian Ryan, she in turn puts it across field towards Ciara Corbett. Ciara Corbett spreads it over towards Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea out in front of Gráinne Harvey. Niamh O'Dea trying to get in position here. It looks like a great effort, and it absolutely is a fabulous effort. 4 points, no score. We've had 7.5 minutes, James, Banner well on top, creating chances, and the way in which they spread this play and switch it from side to side, very impressive.
Excellent, very, very good, Peter. But to be fair to West Clare Gaels, the Banner aren't getting inside, and for West Clare Gaels to have a chance, they need to not concede goals, and Ciara's gone over the top again now to hopefully Fidelma can get on the ball from West Clare Gaels' perspective, and they can go on the attack again now.
And Fidelma Marnin did exceptionally well there, it has to be said, to win that ball. She got it back as far as Aoife Lynch, who was fouled. The ball in as far as Lieve Nardner wasn't the best. It was up in the air. She didn't have any real opportunity to win that, and that was easy for the Banner to come out with that. And Louise Hinch now is on the ball again, on her own in the middle of the field, pops it off towards her long-time teammate Niamh Keane. She's taking on the Banner, running right down the middle, pops it as far as Aoife Malone's shot screws a bit to the left, but it's picked up by Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea, from a very acute angle, puts that over the bar. And the fact is, Emer, that you just cannot give Niamh O'Dea an inch. If you do, she's going to punish.
Yeah, she's an unreal left leg on her, so any opportunity she gets, she'll convert it more than likely. So you just have to try and keep the ball away from her.
So we've had 9 minutes, and the Banner ladies leading by 5 points to West Clare Gaels. No score. They had a great chance of a goal in the first attack, but the shot was really well saved by Emma O'Driscoll. In the meantime, now Gráinne Nolan has it. She's taking on Ruth Ferguson, and that's an excellent point. Super finish from Gráinne Nolan. It's a 6 point for Banner ladies. West Clare Gaels yet to score. We've had 9 minutes, and James, West Clare Gaels, if this is going to be competitive, have to do something fairly fast.
Exactly, and just exactly that. Ciara went short, her sister Gráinne, with the kick out, but her hand pass was turned over. But to be fair to the Banner, Peter, they're making the right decisions on the ball. Bar Niamh with a wild shot there, or Aoife with a wild shot. They're shooting from around the arc, and hence they're 6 points up.
Yeah, that pass inside just about got the better of, just went over the head of Aoife Ryan and went wide. So a small bit of relief for West Clare Gaels, who win the kick out with Fidelma Marnin now streaking forward, getting away from Sinead Power. It's a great run from Fidelma Marnin. If she can either keep going, which she's going to have to keep going because she doesn't have any support coming off her shoulder, good chance of a point, but there was a half block, but not enough to put off Fidelma Marnin, and she puts that over the bar. And that's a really, really good score from the West Clare Gaels midfielder, 6 points to 1. And I suppose it's that kind of individualism where a player takes responsibility, Emer takes on the play, that West Clare Gaels are going to need a lot more of that.
Yeah, no, it's great to get on the scoreboard now. Hopefully that might settle them a bit. But it was great, run forward by Fidelma, and good finish too.
Kick out taken quickly to Clare Harher. She transferred it to Sinead O'Keefe, who's given it out towards Leisha Ryan, playing it right half back. Leisha Ryan bangs it up the field, and Ciara Corbett has now for Banner ladies, who are leading by 6 points to 1 after 11 minutes. This Clare ladies senior final brought to you live on Channel Clare. Niamh Keane goes to ground under pressure from West Clare Gaels, and that goes wide. There was good pressure there eventually from Sarah Marnin, and before that from Colette Canary. Didn't give away the free, it was borderline, but eventually went wide, and the scoreline remains as it was here on Channel Clare. Banner ladies leading West Clare Gaels by 6 points to 1. The kick out from Ciara Harvey lands in the middle of the field, and free foul committed there on Fidelma Marnin. And Fidelma Marnin, James, trying what you can to take the fight to Banner ladies, and I suppose make herself available for those kickouts.
Exactly that, and to be fair, Ciara's trying to hit her, but I suppose up to now, Peter, it's been Fidelma and Caoimhe are the only two that really are a shining light for West Clare Gaels, and the other girls around them, need to start coming into the game. Niamh Lerner and Becky Medigan, they need to start showing, because if it's left to Fidelma and Caoimhe, this game will be over very quickly.
Leisha Ryan is having a terrific game at wing back for Banner ladies. She was out in front for that ball, crossfield ball, read it really, really well. Chance now for Niamh O'Dea. She goes down on the ball, and she's she goes to ground, and it's going to be definitely a free in. Hopefully Niamh O'Dea isn't injured, so we're going to see what's going to happen. What's going to happen here now? Michael Talty, is he going to speak to West Clare Gaels player or not? I think he might be having a word with Shauna Harvey. Shauna Harvey, it was who made the tackle on Niamh O'Dea. So Michael Talty's having a word, but he hasn't produced a card. He's just taking Niamh O'Dea still on the ground. It's 6 points to 1. We've had 12 and a half minutes here in Doonbeg. And of course, the coverage live on Channel Clare, the live stream brought to you in association with Clare County Council and Visit Clare. Nivo is still down, and the one thing we don't want to see in this game, Emer, is anybody getting injured.
No, you never want to see a player down, so hopefully she'll be alright. I feel now she'll hop up now in a few minutes. There's no fear.
Well, at least she's sitting up now, so hopefully she's okay, and whether she's sufficiently recovered or not to take the free, we'll have to see. Perhaps Graniola might take it, but it does suit a left-footed kicker. It is at a good angle for a left-footed kicker, so I have a feeling that as long as anybody feels that she's near enough 100% that she's going to take this, and it is a good opportunity for her to put over the Banner's 7th point of this county final. She takes it very, very quickly though, back as far as Granny Nolan, and Granny Nolan tries to angle that and very successfully angles it over the bar. And James, that was just a bit too easy.
Yeah, exactly, Peter. You know, there's no pressure coming, even from the Banner kick out. You know, they're getting out very easily. Whereas, you know, on the other side of the pitch, Ciara Harvey's under massive pressure, and she has to go long every time over midfield. And you know, luckily enough, she got her sister Clare this time.
And Cueva picks it up in the middle of the field. She's being shadowed well by Laurie Ryan. Cueva Harvey spreads it to the far side of the field, over as far as Ciara McQuaid. Ciara McQuaid under pressure comes out, emerges with the ball and is fouled, and free is going to be taken quickly. And it's banged forward by Colette Canary up as far as Niamh Lardner. Niamh Lardner now trying to take on the cornerback Siobhan McMahon, and that's a good run and a free in for West Clare Gaels. So that was good play, good determined play inside in the full forward line by Niamh Lardner. And West Clare Gaels certainly need everything they can get at this stage. We've had 14 minutes. The Banner leading by 7 points to West Clare Gaels 1. Cueva Harvey's going to take the free. And Emer, like, if it is at a bit of an angle here, in fairness, now it's on the 21, but it's an acute angle. But if they were to put this over, I mean, to be 5 points down, given the amount of ball that the Banner have, wouldn't actually be too bad. I mean, they wouldn't be completely out of the game.
Yeah, they'd be happy enough, I suppose, going into the first quarter down, that they could convert this free. And she
has put it over. That's an exceptionally good free from Cueva Harvey. So possibility, James, that if they can keep the ball down here for another minute, maybe the water break is due soon, but if they get another score, suddenly things would look a small bit brighter for West Clare Gaels.
Exactly, yeah, but in fairness, Grania Nolan saw the danger and came back and picked the ball up deep from her centre forward position, and now the Banner on the attack with her two stalwarts, Louise Hinchy and Niamh Keane.
Louise Hinchy breaking through, but the hand pass is exceptionally well cut out by Shauna Harvey. That was superb defending there from Shauna Harvey, showing her experience and reading the game really, really well. And West Clare Gaels now trying to come out with the ball, and it looked as if Anya Maloney was about to do that, but the ball eventually rolled out over the sideline, and the line ball for the Banner is taken by Niamh Keane. She gives it in as far as Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea spreads the play in the middle, but not the best pass, and it evaded Grania Nolan, and now Cueva Harvey has it back. And West Clare Gaels now trying to hold on to the ball through Grania Harvey, wearing number 8. She pops it back as far as Ciara McQuaid, and that's a good ball forward, excellent ball forward in towards Niamh Lardner. The ball was kicked in by Colette Canary, but it was turned over inside, and Louise Hinchy this time on the far side of the field on the ball, being held up by Colette Canary, but she lays it off as far as Leisha Ryan. Leisha Ryan now has a lot of space in front of her yet again, pops it inside as far as Grania Nolan, the centre forward, involved in a lot of the play, and she's being fairly patient, doesn't see a whole lot happening inside. Shauna Harvey back as sweeper, so West Clare Gaels are doing quite well in the sense that at least Emer, they're not being opened up that easily. And just before we hear the comment from you there, I was going to say we had the water break, but we haven't. In fact, referee Michael Talty is going to throw the ball in. And it's won by Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea takes the ball, pops up as far as Louise Hinchy. Louise Hinchy gives it to Grania Nolan. Grania Nolan spreads the ball wide, and it's a chance now for Ciara Corbett, but I think that's gone wide. It is gone wide. And Michael Talty presumably is going to go for the water break in a sec. But just on that point, Emer, at least West Clare Gaels haven't been opened up as regards goal chances.
Yeah, they've defended well now, closed it down in the back, so in fairness. So if they can keep them out and keep the goals at bay, at least they'll keep them in the game, and who knows what happened when it happened then.
Niamh Keane on the ball again, up as far as Grania Nolan. Grania Nolan thought about laying it off to Sinead Power, but instead gave it to Louise Hinchy, who gives it back to Grania Nolan. She's in a good position off her right foot, and that's straight over the bar, and that's the 8th point for the Banner, who lead West Clare Gaels by 8 points to 2 here in Doonbeg. And we're going to go now for the water break after 17 and a half minutes. This game brought to you live on Channel Clare in conjunction with Clare County Council and Visit Clare. We'll be back in a minute with the second quarter of the first half. We're back live in Shanahan McNamara Park here in Doonbeg on an absolutely beautiful September afternoon. We're halfway through the first half in the Clare Ladies Senior Final. Banner Ladies leading West Clare Gaels by 8 points to 2. The game brought to you live on Channel Clare. And James, the key messages if we focus on West Clare Gaels during this water break.
It's a catch-22 situation, Peter, to be honest. If they go, their half-back line are sitting back, and they're playing with a sweeper, to make sure that they're not conceding the goals. And it's allowing the space for Niamh Keane, for Grania Nolan, to pick it up, in between the 45 and 65, and they're running at them. And in fairness to Niamh O'Dea and Grania Nolan, and Amy Malone kicked a lovely point. But the Banner are making, pretty good decisions for the most part. But again, if West Clare Gaels push out, they're leaving girls one-on-one inside, and that could spell trouble. So, so I suppose from a West Clare Gaels perspective, so far so good, even though they're 6 points down.
That's the situation at the moment here in Doonbeg, and possibly Emer as the game resumes. The fact that it's so warm might play a part as well later in the game if it's still fairly tight.
Yeah, the weather can, I suppose, can drain players as well. So we'll see it now in the last quarter. I'd say people might start to die a small bit, but it's great conditions though. In fairness, they couldn't be any better.
It's happened again now, where a ball to the West Clare Gaels inside line was just kind of hit and hope more than anything, but Caoimhe Harvey has it now, and she's taking the pop from Fidelma Marnan. Caoimhe Harvey taking on Laurie Ryan. It's a really good run. She pops it off as far as Becky Madigan. Becky Madigan gives it to Colette Canary, back to Becky Madigan under a bit of pressure, does well to hold off the 2 or 3 defenders from the Banner, and that's an absolutely super score, and that's the best score of the game, certainly from a West Clare Gaels point of view.
Definitely, and they need way more than that. That's Becky Madigan's first 2 touches of the ball, and she's a very, very direct player, and the more ball she gets, the more trouble she's going to cause the Banner. Yeah, that was absolutely superb play from Becky Madigan under serious pressure, at least 3 defenders, if not more, putting her under pressure, but she just held them all off and was able to get a bit of room to get the shot in and put it over the bar, and that's a really good score just after the water break. We've had 19 minutes and the deficit now 5 points. Banner leading West Clare Gaels by 8 points to West Clare Gaels 3 in Shanahan McNamara Park here in Doonbeg, live in Channel Clare. Banner Ladies now through Louise Woods attacking again. Louise Woods, nice ball in as far as Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea taking on Grania Harvey. She's getting back onto her left foot. She pops it as far as Ava Malone, takes a 1-2, and Niamh O'Dea would have shot about 25-26 yards out. And you might as well, for a long time, James, before that went over the bar, the flag might as well have gone up because it was a superb effort. I knew exactly what was coming. She's very good at playing those 1-2s, and making space for herself, to come round, and make the angle on her left foot. And, to be honest, we're saying this with probably, the last 10 years, any male footballer in the country, Paddy McBrearty would be, proud of that point, the way she came on the loop and kicked it over the bar. And, to be fair to Grania Harvey, the one thing Niamh O'Dea hasn't done is she hasn't got inside her, and Grania's forcing her to kick those scores. But, she's such a talented player, she's well able to kick those.
6 points in it. Banner, who are, we have to say, warm favourites, leading West Clare Gaels by 9 points to 3. West Clare Gaels now hoping to build something. Caoimhe Harvey wins it. She's taking on Laurie Ryan. Caoimhe Harvey certainly has been very involved in the play in the opening 20 minutes here in Doonbeg. She still has it, but she's been well shadowed, it has to be said, by Laurie Ryan. She pops it back as far as Ciara McQuaid. She breaks forward, and the pass just about evaded Aoife Lynch. Aoife Lynch lost her footing, and Banner break out, and this is where the Banner are dangerous with Niamh Keane now in absolutely loads of space in front of the stand, and she's taking on the West Clare Gaels defence, and that's good defending there from Sarah Marnin. Got the hand in, but eventually it breaks as far as Aoife Malone. Aoife Malone spreads it wide to Ciara Corbett. She finds Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea now trying to create that angle, pops it off as far as Niamh Keane. If Niamh Keane can steady herself on her right, this should go over there. She pops it as far as Aoife Malone. Aoife Malone's shot was half blocked. Very good defending there from West Clare Gaels, and Ciara Harvey picked up the break and finds her sister Shauna with the ball. Shauna takes the pass from Sophia O'Callaghan and is trying to break up the far sideline now, and this is a good play from West Clare Gaels, trying to control the ball a bit better out of defence, and Caoimhe Harvey now takes that ball over on the far sideline. She's under pressure from Niamh O'Dea, who's now way back at the other side of the field defending. Fidelma Marnin now has it. She's has a shot on goal. It's a good effort. It had the length, but it just didn't have the accuracy, and I suppose it's just in that kind of a situation, Emer, where West Clare Gaels is just going to have to be a small bit more patient.
Yeah, she just needs to steady herself a bit there now. Like, they need to be taking every opportunity when they get up there, take every chance.
And a big problem for West Clare Gaels seems to be on the kick-out, because the Banner always win their own kick-out and didn't seem to find a lot of space high up the field. But very important ball won back there by Aoife Lynch. She won it back from Aoife Malone, who tried to in turn win it back herself, but didn't, despite putting on a good bit of pressure. Ruth Ferguson now breaking forward. Ruth Ferguson gets it in as far as Lieve Nardner. Can Lieve Nardner beat the ball out before it gets to the end line? She doesn't. The referee blows his whistle. Lieve Lardner is on the ground. And the referee hasn't yet made it clear which way the free is going. I think it's coming out, and it is indeed, and it's taken very, very quickly. And James, that's one thing that the Banner just restarted the game so quickly.
Exactly, but to be fair to West Clare Gaels, is the way they're set up. They're playing with a double sweeper, and as I said, Niamh Keane is picking up the world of ball here. She's actually been picked up by Aoife Lynch, the wing forward. Ruth Ferguson and Shauna Harvey are playing as double sweepers, and they are making forays up the field. Ruth Ferguson, made the run that time, but it was a poor ball into Niamh Lerner, and they need to make those count as they attack.
Let's see what's going to happen here now. Clare Canary on the ball again. She's been a lot of ball in this first half. Pops it up as far as Grania Harvey. She's looking inside now, sees there any bit of movement inside, but it's cut out well there by Claire Heher, who won a senior camogie championship medal last weekend with Aina Kilnamona. Louise Henchy now has the ball in the middle of the field, has been involved in the play a lot as well. Nice ball forward as far as Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea now crossing the West Clare Gaels 45. A good play from Niamh O'Dea, holds onto the ball well. She's been tackled by Sophia O'Callaghan, pops it inside as far as the Banner Ladies corner forward, who pops it towards Aoife Malone. Aoife Malone under a bit of pressure, and eventually is half blocked down. Aoife Ryan trying to win it back, but that's really good defending there from West Clare Gaels, from Ruth Ferguson, and good quickly taken free as well. But unfortunately for Clare Canary, she just took her eye off the ball and lost possession. Ball crossed as far as West Clare Gaels corner forward Niamh O'Dea, and she puts it away. And well, the last person, James, that you want to find in front of goal after losing possession out the field is Niamh O'Dea.
Exactly that, and to be fair, it was a great diagonal ball from Niamh Keane, and to be honest, it was very harsh on Colette Canary, that the ball went through her legs, and no one better than Niamh Keane or Niamh O'Dea and Niamh Keane to punish West Clare Gaels. But it was the first time, to be fair, the Banner got in behind, and even the play before that, it was absolutely excellent defending from for the Banner to get away and not let Aoife Malone score a goal.
Substitution made here now by the Banner, just about 5 minutes before half time. Sarah Nikellig has come on for Louise Woods. So Sarah Nikellig on for Louise Woods. 5 minutes left in the first half. Banner 1-9, West Clare Gaels 3 points. That's the score here in Doonbeg. And a rather aimless ball kicked in there by the Banner eventually goes wide. It hasn't happened too often, Emer, so far that the Banner have given the ball away. That it's actually a surprise when they do.
Yeah, they've been really good with their balls into the forward line. They've had great patience and pick out the player very well. So just the odd one that has gone astray there.
The Banner or West Clare Gaels now need to try to make something happen here before half time. They're 9 points down, 193 points. They're struggling to come out of their own defence. Ruth Ferguson has it. She's breaking forward. That's good play. Excellent run. Pops it off as far as Caoimhe Harvey. Caoimhe Harvey returns the compliment to Ruth Ferguson. Great run from Ruth Ferguson. She's taking on Louise Henchy, cutting inside. Ball in as far as Niamh Lardner, but Emma O'Driscoll is off the line, read that really well. And now Siobhan McMahon has it, and the Banner are breaking out at pace, and nearly all the time they find a player loose. This time it's Ciara Corbett. Ciara Corbett pops it inside towards Siobhan McMahon, and they're going to switch the play over here towards the far side. Louise Henchy, all on her own, takes it on. She's got plenty of room in front of her in which to run into. She's looking for the best option inside. The best option is often Niamh O'Dea. It's a dangerous ball from Niamh O'Dea in towards Gráinne Nolan. Great catch from Gráinne Nolan, and a really good save from Ciara Harvey. It was super fielding from the Banner Ladies captain, but the ball breaks towards Niamh Keane, and Niamh Keane's shot drifts wide. It was a good opportunity. She won't be happy with that, but James, West Clare Gaels lucky there that there wasn't a second goal.
Yeah, and the telepathic understanding of Gráinne Nolan and Niamh O'Dea, with the last 10-12 years, Niamh put the ball on an absolute plate. It was a really good ball, and in fairness to Ciara, she made a good save off Gráinne's shot.
Score remains as it was, 193 points in favour of the Banner, and it's going to be a free now for West Clare Gaels. And the Banner's Niamh Keane is being spoken to by Michael Talty. West Clare Gaels Ciara McQuaid gone to ground. Hopefully she'll be okay. She looks as if she not too bad. Michael Talty having a long chat, but didn't produce the yellow card for Niamh Keane. And Ciara McQuaid probably, hopefully, will be okay. She's been attended to there by Michelle Downs, and she's up, and the free is going to be taken by Shauna Harvey. We've got 3 minutes left. Might be 1 or 2 minutes of injury time, 3 minutes of normal time left. That's including the time that was taken for the break. So Shauna Harvey kicks the ball out towards the sideline, trying to find her sister Caoimhe, who just about keeps it in. Well, doesn't actually, because she just went out over the sideline by a couple of inches, and the line ball is taken quickly by Sinead Power. And yet again now the Banner are building. Sinead Power takes a return pass infield towards Niamh Keane. Niamh Keane evades Becky Madigan. Referee plays advantage. Niamh Keane spreads it to the far side to Ciara Corbett, who's been involved in a lot of play at wing forward. Niamh O'Dea has it now. She's trying to hold off Shauna Harvey. Niamh O'Dea looks up, very intelligent diagonal ball. What a pass to Gráinne Nolan. Superb pass and a great save. A really, really great save by Ciara Harvey. But that pass was just sublime, Emer.
Yeah, it's
just pure class.
Yeah, it is a classic move, I think, with the Banner. There always seems to be someone running towards the back post, and they put the loop and ball in. So it's happened there a few times. So West Clare Gaels need to watch that now. Yeah,
West Clare Gaels lucky there they didn't concede a goal. 110 to 3 points, that's the score. Maybe they might make something happen here before full time. Certainly Fidelma Marnin is trying everything she can on the far side of the field, soloing up and trying to hold on to the ball in towards who's in a more central position, Caoimhe Harvey. Caoimhe Harvey turns, shoots, and that goes over the bar. That's a good point, a really good point from Caoimhe Harvey, and it's West Clare Gaels' 4th point, but the Banner already have 110, so 110 to 4 points. It's still obviously quite a big lead for the Banner, and it could even have been more, because they've had a couple of half goal chances. The last one from Gráinne Nolan could as easily have ended up in the back of the net was it not for the intervention of Ciara Harvey. And yet again now Gráinne Nolan on the ball in the middle of the field as the Banner take that kick out very, very quickly and build. She finds Niamh Keane. Niamh Keane gives it back. Super run from Laurie Ryan. She's breaking forward. Laurie Ryan into Niamh O'Dea, and that's over the bar. And James, that's as good a score as you'll see in ladies football, club football, anywhere in the country.
Unbelievably so, and to be fair to Laurie, that was her first fire up the field. She's been very disciplined today, on marking Caoimhe Harvey, but Laurie can do it both ways, and you saw it there, and she gave a lovely pass to Niamh, for Niamh to put it over the bar, and they're on the attack again, and again it's Niamh almost to Gráinne. It's another goal. Aoibhinn Malone gets on the end of a deflected pass from Niamh.
Aoibhinn Malone ruthlessly finishes that soccer style to the back of the West Clare Gaels net. We've had half an hour gone here in Doonbeg in the first half. It's now Banner 2-11, West Clare Gaels 4 points. And I suppose, Emer, from the point of view of we'll call it the Clare ladies football public, we were hoping that it would be tight, it would be competitive, but it just hasn't been. It hasn't been up to now. West Clare Gaels doing their best, but the Banner are just at the moment just much too good.
Yeah, they're doing their best, I suppose, to keep them out. But when you have a team attacking like that, constantly coming at you, I suppose it's hard. It's hard to keep them at bay, and they've gotten through a few times there and resulted in 2 goals. So yeah, it's a difficult one.
And what's as impressive as their attacking play from the point of view of the Banner is the way in which their forwards defend from the front as well. They make it very, very hard for the opposing team to come out. Even though West Clare Gaels have a couple of extra players at the back, it's still very, very difficult for them to come out with any bit of quality possession at all. Sophia O'Callaghan breaks forward now, and in fact it's Becky Madigan. She kicks the ball in towards Liv Lardner, but it's a free out for the Banner. Siobhan McMahon was defending well inside, was goal side, and she was fouled, and referee Michael Talty blows for half time. It's quite comprehensive here at this stage. Banner ladies leading West Clare Gaels by 2-11 to 4 points. We'll take a break, back very soon with some half time analysis from Doonbeg.
Well, we try and cater for almost all age brackets, and you know we have some of the best brands in the world within the walls of the shop. Anything from Boss down to Ted Baker, through to Tommy Hilfiger, right down to G-Star, Super Dry, Tommy Bow as a local brand. Yeah, so we have a cross section of price ranges and a good cross section of brands.
And you're very welcome back to Shanahan McNamara Memorial Park in Doonbeg. It's half time in the senior ladies football final. It is Banner 2 goals and 11 points to West Clare Gaels 4 points. I'm joined by our match co-commentator, that's Anne-Marie Callanan. Anne-Marie, sum up that first half.
Yeah, Banner seem to be on top there. Everything is going through Nivo D and Gráinne Nolan. They're being very patient with the ball. They're working it around because Western Gaels have gone defensive. They have maybe 10 behind the ball at some stages, but Banner are working around the D and they're getting their points. They were lucky as well to not get 2 goals. Ciara Harvey made some great saves in the Western Gaels net, and she's keeping them in the game.
She certainly is keeping them in the game. They seem to be clinical in front of goals. Gráinne Nolan in particular, Nivo D, just coming in on the inside and just going for goal every time. They might think twice now. The West Clare Gaels keeper is keeping them in it, and maybe they might pop over some points in the second half. But what can West Clare Gaels do ultimately?
I think they just have to stick with Niamh and Gráinne, because as I said, all the ball is going through them, and they're patting it off when the option isn't on. They're making all the correct decisions on the ball. West Clare Gaels have to keep crowding it out, but they need to go forward as well, because they have to get some scores. They're relying on Fidel Mamarna to bring the ball forward, but they need support off of her. She can't do it on her own. I think Caoimhe Harvey needs to get more ball as well, because she's dangerous when she's on the ball.
Okay. Marie, on a different note, connected to the GAA ultimately still, we're Change Your Colour for CF is an initiative that we've probably seen all over social media in recent weeks and months.
Yes.
The likes of Kieran Donaghy and whoever else.
Yes.
Politicians, you've had community leaders, you've had sports men and women donning the jersey of a rival club, a rival county, whatever it may be, for Change Your Colour for CF. Give me a little bit of information about it. Your sister, Sheila, in particular.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, Sheila passed away from cystic fibrosis, and we've been doing a tournament the last couple of years in honour for memory and to raise funds for CF. But this year, obviously, we couldn't do it because of COVID, so we're doing an initiative virtually called Change Your Colours for CF. So you put on a rival jersey for the cause, and you can donate to GoFundMe, and it's all to help people with CF and the Julian Vincent Foundation. So Micheál has our little placard here that we've been using to advertise.
Okay, and I am joined by Micheál Talty, partner of Sheila. Micheál, what has it meant to you and your friends, and obviously Anne-Marie and the family, the support that you've received so far? What has it meant to you?
It's meant the world. I mean, we're overwhelmed with the support we've got. We've always had fantastic support with the last couple of years since we had the start of the tournament back in 2017. But I mean, this year, because we couldn't have the tournament, we were racking our heads. What could we do? We came up with Change Our Colours for CF to try and raise some much needed money, and we were hoping, possibly 10-20 grand, but at the moment we're heading towards 40 as we head into the last week. And when you see some of the high name players, some of which are going to be announced tomorrow night, some of the best players ever played a game in running behind us, I mean we're absolutely blown away with it.
Okay. And you have a draw as well on?
Draw is going to be next weekend. We have fantastic prizes, a set of jerseys from Martin Donnelly, our sponsor, and loads of other individual prizes worth about 5 grand. So
we're going to head into throw-in. I'm going to get Peter to read out details of that before the end of the programme, so everybody can tune in and everything. Thank you very much to you. Going to take a quick break, back with the second half.
And you're back live here in Doonbeg. First attack of the second half finishes in a wide for West Clare Gaels. Banner leading, a reminder, 2-11 to West Clare Gaels, 4 points after a fairly emphatic first half. The kick out from Emma O'Driscoll went slightly astray, but eventually Sinead O'Keefe does well to hold on to it. And James Murray, who's here on analysis along with Emer O'Connor. James, Banner or West Clare Gaels just need to make something happen extremely quickly.
Exactly that, Peter. And to be honest with you, especially towards the end of that first half, they were very wasteful with their chances, and they were kicking aimless ball, and they need to be a lot more clinical when they get the ball up front, because their chances are probably half to the amount of the Banner chances.
Ciara Corbett has now pops it off as far as Gráinne Nolan. Gráinne Nolan under a bit of pressure, well blocked down. That's good play, but Aoibhinn Malone picks up the break. Aoibhinn Malone trying to find a bit of space into which to get a kick, but she eventually popped it off as far as Aoibhinn Ryan, and Aoibhinn Ryan's shot went wide, and the scoreline remains as it was at half time. Banner 2-11, West Clare Gaels 4 points on a perfect afternoon for football here. in Shanahan McNamara Park in Doonbeg, live on Channel Clare, the 2020 Clare Ladies Senior Football Final. Earlier on we brought you the intermediate final between Kilmurray Bricken, who defeated their neighbours St Joseph's Milltown, and of course all of our coverage this afternoon brought to you in association with Clare County Council and Visit Clare. Nivo D visiting yet again the West Clare Gaels goalmouth and puts over an absolutely sublime point, and it's just very hard to defend against that kind of class, Emer. Nivo D visiting yet again the West Clare Gaels goalmouth and puts over an absolutely
so it's going to be difficult to keep her under control.
Ciara Harvey now takes the kick out, but just too many Banner players on their own around the middle of the field. Laurie Ryan picked up that kick out, gets it forward now. Chance here for Nivo D to put over yet another point, and this one goes straight over the bar yet again, and any opportunity she gets seems to just end up James either over the bar or in the net, or creating an opportunity for someone else.
Yeah, I know. She's a top class player, to be fair, Peter. But it's something I think the West Clare Gaels probably need to look at. Niamh is coming on the loop, so it's not so much when Granya's marking her. It's when she makes that loop is that they need to be on her left foot to try and get those shots off. But so far that hasn't been the case.
She's just making those runs, perfectly timed runs, doesn't necessarily even have to win the ball, but just makes herself available for the pop at the right time, creates the angle, and invariably finishes. Fidelma Martin now is really giving it everything for West Clare Gaels, doing very well around the middle of the field, pops it forward as far as Niamh Lardner trying to take on Siobhan McMahon, but yet again, as well as the Banner are playing at the far end of the field where their attack is moving very smoothly, they're also defending exceptionally well as well, and they're breaking out here superbly, it has to be said. Gráinne Nolan linking up with Niamh Keane, and Gráinne Nolan finds Louise Henchy, who finds Niamh Keane again. Niamh Keane pops it outside her to Nivo D. Nivo D in on goal, great save by Ciara Harvey, and very brave defending there by the West Clare Gaels cornerback Michelle Marnin, who went down on the break and was pushed in the back, and that could easily have ended up in the back of the net, but Ciara Harvey making her second really good save of this 2020 county final. Her sister now has it, Quiva Harvey. She's trying to break forward under pressure from Sinead Power, gets it forward towards Fidelma Marnin, but Fidelma Marnin had 2 or 3 defenders around her and was beaten on that occasion. Rare mistake in the middle of the field from Avian Malone, seemed to take her eye off the ball. Becky Madigan has it for West Clare Gaels, breaking forward, tries to take on Gráinne Nolan, who is defending as much as she's attacking. The free given away by Sinead O'Keefe, and this is going to be a free in for the Banner, won by Becky Madigan about 40 yards out, and it's going to be taken by Fidelma Marnin when play resumes. Fidelma Marnin, James, in fairness, one of the West Clare Gaels players that hasn't dropped the head, and that as much as you can is trying to take on the game. Yeah,
and to be fair, Peter, what they've done is they've Becky Madigan brought to centre forward and tried to put Fidelma in, so that if Fidelma does get the ball, she's closer to goals, and she may get a goal or two, But I suppose the difference between the two teams is, West Clare Gaels have one out runners with Fidelma, Becky, Quiva, whereas the combination play, and the support play from the Banner is, something to behold.
That free from Fidelma Martin went wide, so the scoreline remains 2-13 to 4 points in favour of West Clare Gaels against the Banner. And James, I suppose another point we have to make here, and it's not related to the game, but the loss during the year of Kieran Harvey and Michael McInerney, two men who made enormous contributions to Clare Ladies football.
Yeah, and I suppose, from my tenure as manager, I couldn't speak highly enough from Peter, to be honest. Kieran was chairman, and everything I ever asked of Kieran, it was always there. We would spend 3 or 4 days on the phone each week, sorting out stuff around the team affairs, and at any hour of the day or night, he was always there at the end of the phone. And then, I suppose from an executive perspective, Michael was always someone. I suppose my small lady goes to the Banner, and Michael's heavily involved in the Banner, and he's always someone that you can throw something at. He's definitely the voice of he was definitely a voice of reason, with the amount of experience that he had in ladies football.
And just as James is speaking there, free from Fidelma Marnin, drifts wide, and Emer, just in that point, the loss of Kieran Harvey and Michael McInerney. I mean, they're men that were known not just obviously in their own clubs, but throughout the county, and made such valuable contributions to the sport throughout the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there were always two men you'd always see at Clare football games, so they were always a visible presence on the sideline and always very encouraging as well. So they're two big losses to the county.
The Banner on the attack again, and that's an absolutely superb point from play from centre forward Grania Nolan, who just angles that over the bar. Pure class. 2-12 to 4 points. We've had 7 minutes of the second half, and James, if it continues like this, it's going to be a very long second half. Just before we bring James in, another opportunity for a score here, but that's going to drift wide from Sinead Power, eventually rolls wide, but it's going to be a very long second half for West Clare Gaels.
Exactly, Peter, and I suppose, to be honest, Ciara Harvey's probably struggling a bit in her kick out, and it's not all down to Ciara, even though she can throws the ball. It's about the movement of their backs, but Ciara, to be fair to her, has pulled off 3 or 4 great saves, and not alone should it be 2, maybe 14, it probably should be 5 or 6 only for Ciara.
Yeah, she definitely has been the difference between just 2 and maybe 3 or 4 green flags raised by Banner ladies. 2-14 to 4 points ahead, 20 points to 4. The Banner, unrelenting, are still trying to build. Crossfield ball finds Nivo D. There was a great ball from Laurie Ryan, who continued to support run. Superb run. Pops it off as far as Grania Nolan, but the free is going to be given for the foul. Just before that, I think it was on Laurie Ryan, so this is going to be a free in for Nivo D, about 22-23 yards out, dead straight in front of the goals. As it is, the Banner lead by 2-14 to 4 points, and very, very likely that lead is going to be stretched by another point as Nivo D takes a solo, steadies herself, crouches down and kicks it straight over the bar. No surprise there, Nivo D having an absolutely superb 2020 county final. And I mean, I suppose, James, one thing that we shouldn't overlook is the hunger that defeat brings. The Banner this time last year beat my Kilmahill, and they've had a long time to think about that.
Yeah, definitely so, and they're all throughout the championship they've been really focused on their performances, and I suppose not to forget, even though they're playing very well and they're spraying the ball around the place, and I suppose in a way people would know about the Harlem Globetrotters, they're playing a bit like that at the moment, but they're doing this without probably one of their stalwarts in Louise Woods. She went off injured in the first half, and I don't know if you've noticed as well, Peter, Nivo D has her left calf heavily strapped as well, so she's probably not at 100% today, but she's given an unbelievable performance so far.
Certainly is, and I'd say that whatever small relief might be there for West Clare Gaels, there probably is the fact that if this isn't Nivo D at full belt, well then they're probably happy with that. Avi Malone has it, but that shot not the best. Just before that, Ciara Corbett had put over their 16th points, the Banner's 16th point. Their lead 2-16 to West Clare Gaels, 4 points, and we've not yet had 10 minutes of the second half, so we still have 20 minutes left in the 2020 county final. Ciara Harvey takes the quick kick out, and she finds her sister Grania Harvey. West Clare Gaels trying to build a bit of play here now. It's a good ball that finds Ruth Ferguson on her own. Is she going to pop it inside towards Anya Maloney? She does. Anya Maloney takes it on. Michael Talty spots something that happened off the ball. I think Niamh Lardner is on the ground. She gets up. She was put on the ground. However it happened, I didn't quite fully see it by Siobhan McMahon, so Michael Talty is going to walk in towards Siobhan McMahon and is going to have a word. The Banner are now getting ready to make another substitution. Orla Lynch, wearing number 17, is getting ready to go in. Michael Talty has the word with Siobhan McMahon, but that's all it is, a word, and the free is going to be taken by Quiva Harvey, but not before. There's a bit of attention here for one of the West Clare Gaels players. I think it's Niamh Lardner. So the play held up slightly, and we're probably going to see a few substitutions here now over the next over the remaining 19 minutes. At this stage, we've just had 11 minutes of the first half, and presumably both teams will look to try and give their squad a bit of a run. And James, we have a number of players here playing for the Banner who won senior camogie medals last weekend, and in the case of Avi Malone, a junior camogie medal. So obviously a very, very talented group and a very fit group.
Yeah, and I suppose that's what even probably makes it extra special for them. They probably have 8 or 9 dual players out there, and how they can be at that level, with the, I suppose, trying to juggle all those girls with playing with the 3 or 4 or 5 different clubs, is unbelievable. In the way that they can pull that performance today. But I suppose just on that, Peter, again, that once-off run from Becky Madigan or Fidelma Marinan, Becky did it that time, and got a score for Westler Gaels, but they need to be doing that more often now.
Absolutely, that was a really, really good run there from Becky Madigan, and I suppose an indication, I think, was probably going for a goal, but got good power behind it, and it powered over the bar, and really, really good finish for the Banners' 17th point here in Doonbeg. The live stream brought to you on Channel Clare in association with Clare County Council and Visit Clare. Far side of the field now for Banner ladies. Sarah Nikalic has the ball. It's kicked up the field by Sinead Power. Michael Talty is playing advantage. He still has his hand in the air as the Banner break forward, try to build a bit more play. Ciara Corbett taking it on. Has got plenty of room to create the angle for the shot. Created the angle, and I thought maybe didn't get fully behind it, but it did enough to get it over the bar, and that's a good score again from Ciara Corbett, who, like most of the Banner ladies forwards, has been involved in an awful lot of play, and has the ability to win ball and also to finish, and that's really what is the difference all over the field. Fidelma Marinan fighting hard for the ball, fouled by Sinead O'Keefe. Sinead O'Keefe is on the ground. Michael Talty fairly definitely that's a free into Westler Gaels. Sinead O'Keefe limping a small bit, but seems to be alright. 2:18 to 5 points. The Banner leading. There's another Banner player on the ground here as well now, so Michael Talty is going to hold up the plays. Louise Hinchy on the ground, and Louise has been around a long time, Emer, but the quality, hopefully she's okay now. That's just a bit of a knock, but the quality of her play, her ability, her fitness, her reading of the game just has never dipped.
No, she's unbelievable. Like you said, she's been around a long time, but there's plenty more in her. The way she's moving out there today, like she's carrying so much ball, and she's just has the experience and the head to, I suppose, deliver it into the forward line and use the ball well.
Yeah, she's been particularly in the first half when the game was somewhat competitive. She was absolutely excellent. Herself and Niamh Keane getting involved in a lot of the play and building, running at Westler Gaels along with creating and taking scoring opportunities. 2:18 to 5 points. Nearly 15 minutes gone in the first half, so we can't be too much away from the water break. Niamh Keane now takes the pass from Lisa Ryan. Niamh Keane pops it as far as Niamh O'Dea. Niamh O'Dea is in. Can she create that bit of space for the shot? Yes, she can. Not a surprise there. And that, James, could have as easily, it went over the bar as a great point, but it could easily have been a foot under and in the top corner.
Exactly, and to be fair, every time, Niamh O'Dea is picking up the ball in the right areas. I know we're coming into the water break now, Peter. She's picking the ball up in the right area every time, coming in on her left foot, and she's making the scores look easy, but, some of the scores are absolutely fabulous.
Exactly, 15 minutes gone in the first half. Michael Talty has called a water break to score. The Banner 2:19, Westler Gaels 5 points. We'll be back in a minute with the last 15 minutes live from Doonbeg. And you're back live in Doonbeg, Shanahan McNamara Park. It's we're a quarter of the way through the second half of the 2020 Clare Ladies Football Senior Final, and it's quite emphatic. The Banner leading Westler Gaels by 2:19 to 5 points, so we have 15 minutes left, maybe 1 or 2 minutes of of injury time. And James, we were just saying there off air, how would you stop this? How would you stop the banner?
Well, to be fair, in the first 20 minutes of the game, West Clare Gaels probably, they had their game plan, and, to be fair to Michael Carmody and the management team, they played with the double sweeper, and their main objective was not to concede goals and force Grania Nolan and Nivo D, to kick from outside the zone, but, it was 6-0, it was 6-7-0 before we knew it, and, to be fair, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. That if you do press up with them, I suppose probably looking at it, and again it would be probably ultra defensive, and maybe going back to Jim McGuinness time is maybe play 13 inside your own 45, play 2 up, and limit the scores, and try and make it maybe an 11-2 game or an 11-3, and go and hit them on the break, maybe with the likes of Cueva and Fidelma. But again, you can't argue with the way Michael Carmody tried to set up, with Root and Sean Adair, and for the most part of the first 20 minutes it worked.
The game is going to resume here now in a few seconds. After that water break, it's going to resume with a kick out for Ciara Harvey in the West Clare Gaels goal mouth, and the kick out is won yet again by Banner Ladies, and Banner Ladies breaking forward, and they're fouled, so it's going to be a free just behind just inside the 45, taken quickly, finds Nivo D. Nivo D bounces the ball once, looks to her right, finds Niamh Keane all on her own. Niamh Keane has the shot, and that goes wide. And I suppose there's a substitution here as well. Grania Nolan has been taken off, so presumably Grania Nolan might have a bit of an injury or whatever. So Orla Lynch has come on. So Orla Lynch, wearing number 17, came in during the water break for the Banner, and that's a quality substitution to have. And Nivo D now breaking forward, and she's clearly pulled back there by Grania Harvey. So that's going to be a free in for the Banner. Nivo D still on the ground, and James, I suppose Michael Talty might have a decision to make here in terms of does he give a yellow or what happens?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on Michael's. I suppose by the letter of the law, Grania Harvey deserves a yellow card. But I suppose with the way the game is petering out, and in fairness, Michael has refereed it to the letter of the law, and he's given Grania a yellow card, and it was certainly deserved because she pretty much hauled Niamh down. Now I suppose from Grania's perspective, I hope she didn't haul her down inside the penalty area, because if she did, Niamh will probably end up facing Ciara. She was probably clever enough that it may end up being a 14-yard free.
Yeah, it's certainly a one-sided enough situation as it is. Without further adding to it, Michael Talty has indicated that it is a penalty, so he's going to go in and have a word with his umpire, I think, just to make sure. But no, he has clearly spread his arms out, so it is definitely a penalty, and the penalty is going to be taken by Louise Henchy, the Banner Ladies midfielder. So that penalty, very, very costly for West Clare Gaels, losing Grania Harvey for 10 minutes to a yellow card. And if this is put away by Louise Henchy, well, it's going to be a third goal. So let's see now. Yeah, it's put away. The penalty is put away, and that's expertly put away by Louise Henchy, who puts the Banner into a 3-19 to 5-point lead score, and that's the 20th point for the Banner, who lead by 320 to 5 points after 18 minutes. So we've got 12 minutes left. Another substitution here now. Karen Roach, wearing number 18, comes in for West Clare Gaels, and in fact Eva O'D as well has come in too. So Eva O'D, who came on in the Camogie last weekend, she's Siobhan McMahon, one of the people substituted. We'll just see who the second person off is. It's Aoibhinn Ryan, the Banner Ladies number 15. So Karen Roach and Eva O'D coming on for Siobhan McMahon and Aoibhinn Ryan as the Banner power towards another Clare Senior Football Championship title. West Clare Gaels try to keep going somehow, but that crossfield pass is well cut out. It's banged up the field where Nivo D has it on her own. Nivo D now taking on Shauna Harvey, getting away from Shauna Harvey, bit of space opening up in front of her. She gets it in towards the inside forward line, and that was an opportunity there for Orla Lynch, but Orla Lynch's shot was well saved again by Ciara Harvey, and Ciara Harvey certainly has been the difference between more of a hammering for West Clare Gaels. She's made a couple of really, really important stops, and certainly can't be faulted in goals for the team from the peninsula. They're trying to build up here up the field now. Becky Madigan did very, very well to hold on to that ball under a lot of pressure. Breaks forward, gets past Laurie Ryan. Laurie Ryan puts the hand out. Referee Michael Talty plays advantage. Becky Madigan decides she wants the free, not the advantage. Laurie Ryan is on the ground. She's holding, is it her arm or her shoulder? Looks like a painful injury now, because Laurie Ryan is not the type of player, James, to go down easily, and you will be hoping, and everyone will be hoping that hopefully that injury isn't is worse, is not as bad as it looks.
Yeah, hopefully not. I suppose, to be fair to Laurie, she's been unlucky with injuries over the last probably 12-18 months. But I suppose as Becky turned inside her, she kind of half slipped, and whatever way Becky and Laurie fell, it seemed as if Becky fell on her elbow. Obviously very much accidental, and hopefully she'll be okay.
She's getting a bit of attention there, so play held up for a bit. The scoreline, 320 to 5 points to Banner, leading West Clare Gaels, so it's certainly very, very comprehensive. We've got less than 10 minutes left of the 2020 county final. We are, of course, broadcasting it live on Channel Clare, and the live stream is brought to you in association with Clare County Council and Visit Clare. A wild shot there from Fidelman Marnon, and it goes well wide, so the scoreline remains as it was. And I think the Banner getting ready to make another couple of substitutions up here. They're going to bring in Niamh Kavanagh wearing number 21, and probably maybe one or two additional players after that as well, as they give the bench a bit of a run. Laurie Ryan definitely coming off, and Emer, she looks to be in a bit of pain there.
Yeah, she does look uncomfortable there coming off now, so hopefully it isn't anything too serious, and she won't be out. But she's not holding it anymore, so hopefully that's a good sign.
Yeah, hopefully it's just more of a bang that might be painful now, but that hopefully that there's no major damage in her or anything. She's walking off clearly in a bit of pain, but we wish her the best with that. And James, bringing in a player like Niamh Kavanagh, who has played in a lot of finals and has a lot of championship medals, I suppose a sign of the depth of quality that the Banner have.
Yeah, and when they lost last year, they made sure that they were going to have their strength and depth this year, and they probably weren't pulling from their junior team, and to be able to bring on the quality of Orla Lynch and and Niamh Kavanagh, and even Sarah Nikellig, is absolutely fabulous from their perspective. And I suppose the way as I've said earlier, Peter, the way they've attacked the championship has been second to none, and they're getting their just rewards, to be fair to them.
Becky Madigan breaking forward. That's a great score from Becky Madigan. She's got a couple of those types of scores where she's just basically put the head down and driven at the Banner defence, and that's an absolutely excellent score for West Clare Gaels, but they're still 320 to 6 points down against the Banner, and we've got about 7.5 minutes left here in Dunbeg. Another substitution on the far side of the field. Sophia O'Callaghan has been substituted, and I think Michelle Martin is being taken off as well, so perhaps a couple of changes here for West Clare Gaels, and we'll just see in a second who's been brought in. Number 19 has come in, Laura McNamara, so she's gone in cornerback. But the play is just in front of us here as Ruth Ferguson attacks. She finds Niamh Morrissey, gets it forward as far as Fidelman Marnon, and the wing back for West Clare Gaels, Annie Maloney, pops it off. She finds Niamh Lardner now trying to hold on to the ball under pressure, surrounded by 2 or 3 players, and that was either going to be a free in or over carrying, and eventually Michael Talty says that's a free in for West Clare Gaels. So it's going to be a free in now from the 21-yard line at a slight angle, and it's going to be taken by Grania Harvey by Quiva Harvey wearing number 11, and she's going to hopefully, from a West Clare Gaels point of view, put this over the bar. Unfortunately it drifts wide, and that really should have been the 7th point for West Clare Gaels, but it wasn't. It went about a half foot wide. It still remains 320 to 6 points in favour of very decisive Banner ladies, who I suppose, stung by losing the final last year, seem to have decided, well, they weren't going to lose it this year, and they've been absolutely emphatic both in the semi-final and in today's final. And Becky Madigan pulls down Niamh O'Dea, and James, I suppose if it was, I'm not sure, is Michael Talty going to give a yellow card? He might, out of sympathy, maybe not give it a yellow. But if it was a tighter game, that would probably be a yellow card.
100%, and I suppose, to be honest, from my perspective, Peter, and being a little bit selfish, I've had a couple of grimaces there, seeing Laurie go off and seeing Niamh go down there under a heavy challenge. But thankfully from Niamh's perspective, she seems to be okay, and I'm a bit concerned with Laurie there. She's holding her elbow on the sideline. Hopefully she won't be too bad, and from Niamh's perspective, she's up and about, and she's about to probably put, I don't know, but maybe her 11th or 12th point over the bar.
Nibody solos the ball a couple of times, steadies herself, creates the angle, and almost unbelievably puts it wide. We haven't seen that before, Emer. I don't think that would happen if it was if it really counted.
No, that was an unusual wide there from Nibody now, but I think they're well up now. There's no fear.
Nearly more of a surprise, James, to see Niamh putting it over the bar. Just even the best of players, I suppose, sometimes can, lose concentration a bit.
Yeah, and I suppose, to be honest, the game has petered out probably in the last 10 or 15 minutes. It's been over with a while, and even Ciara Harvey seems to be getting her kick-outs an awful lot easier, and the banner aren't pushing, and probably a little bit of lack of concentration there from Niamh. But again, as you said, if the game was tighter, she probably wouldn't have missed that.
Far side of the field now, Becky Madigan, who certainly has taken the game to the banner, puts over an excellent point, and that really is a super point from Becky Madigan, who hasn't at any stage dropped ahead, and anytime she's been involved has tried to drive past the banner defence, and you'd have to admire any player that does that, because it's been clear from a long way off that the banner were going to win it, but she certainly has kept going as best she can, and you'd have to applaud her for that. In front of us now, Aoibhinn Malone goes down the ball, picks it up, pops it inside as far as Niamh Keane, who's been involved in an awful lot of play for the banner. Hoppin holding the ball up the right hand side here. Doonbeg loses it momentarily but wins it back, pops it back as far as Eva O'Dea, who's got her left leg strapped 1-2 between Niamh O'Dea and Louise Hinchy. Louise Hinchy pops it inside as far as Orla Lynch, and Orla Lynch shot absolutely beautiful point from Orla Lynch, and James, that was just pure class. Just banged that over the bar.
No, to be fair, Peter, it's a feature of their play, and it doesn't make a difference whether it's Siobhan McMahon or at cornerback that has gone off. The two substitutions, Eva O'Dea and Orla Lynch, both were involved in that move to finish a lovely score.
23 points in it, 3:21 for the banner, 7 points for West Clare Gaels. Caoimhe Harvey now taking on Sinead O'Keefe. That's a good determined play from Caoimhe Harvey. She pops it infield as far as her sister Grania, but Grania's shot drifts to the left and wide, and I think Michael Talty saw a deflection, so it is going to be a 45 for West Clare Gaels. Nearly 28 minutes gone, so just about 2 minutes left. I wouldn't imagine there's going to be too much injury time. 2 minutes left includes the time that was taken for the water break, so I can't envisage a whole lot of injury time, because it just at this point doesn't really matter. West Clare Gaels now take the 45 quickly. Caoimhe Harvey gives it back as far as Shauna Harvey, who breaks forward. She pops it off to Grania. Grania Harvey finds Fidelma Marnin. Fidelma Marnin sold the ball a couple of times, hops it, looks towards her left where she plays a 1-2 with Niamh Morrissey, and Fidelma Marnin on the ball again now. But as impressive as the banner have been offensively, they haven't lost concentration defensively. They're making it very, very difficult for West Clare Gaels to create any kind of opportunity at all, let alone a goal scoring opportunity, and that ball is kicked away harmlessly by Grania Harvey, picked up by West Clare Gaels, and now they've got a chance through Clare Herr to break forward. Clare Herr gives it up as far as Aoibhinn Malone. Aoibhinn Malone now taking on Sarah Marnin and getting away. She pops it inside towards Orla Lynch, who goes to ground, and Orla Lynch wins that free about 37-38 yards out roughly, and the free is going to be taken eventually by Niamh O'Dea. We are into the last minute. We've had 29 minutes of the second half, so just about a minute left of the 2020 Clare Senior Football County Final, live from Shanahan McNamara Park here in Doonbeg, brought to you on Channel Clare in association with Clare County Council and Visit Clare. Absolutely beautiful afternoon for football, and well, the Banner certainly have. Well, I'd say they would have been ready for any conditions, no matter what the conditions. They just looked primed, James. They looked motivated, and I suppose from their point of view, they were beaten last year. They just whatever it took today, they were going to not let that happen again.
No, and that's it exactly, Peter. You know, they came very focused. You know, as I said, they've been focused throughout the championship, and you know, even right up to the final whistle. You know, Niamh O'Dea, who is their marquee forward, you know, is sitting on the 45 now. You know, and from their perspective, you know, they've conceded 7 points and they don't want to really concede anymore, which is a sign of an unbelievable team. You know, as we approach injury time.
Becky Madigan fouled just inside the Banner 45, so it's going to be a free in as we go into injury time. We're just into injury time, so a minute or two of injury time presumably, and that'll be it. Just in point of view of player of the game, Channel Clare sponsoring the player of the game, and we've a couple of people who will be selecting the player of the game. Number of contenders, and one of them almost got the ball out there, Niamh Keane. She's had a very good game, James. It's 5 or 6 contenders really, I suppose, all from the Banner.
Yeah, you know, to be fair, you know, Niamh probably wasn't herself last year. You know, she was after having a baby, you know, and she seems to be getting back to her old self. You know, I know she's probably the wrong side of 30, but you know, but today, you know, she definitely proved, you know, that she probably was the Niamh Keane of old, and she was one of maybe, you know, 7 or 8 very good performances from the Banner across the board. But you know, to be fair, Peter, there's only really one player to match, and you know, that has to be Niamh O'Dea in my eyes. You know, to be fair, she was absolute class.
And the game finishes. Michael Daly decides that 1 minute of injury time is plenty. Very, very briefly, Emer, well-deserved win and absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
No, they were overwhelming, I suppose, favourites coming in, and I suppose they proved that there throughout the game. They never let up, even with the big lead. They constantly were attacking forward, so they were deserving winners today.
It's finished 3-21 to 7 points. We're going to take a break here on Channel Clare. Back in a couple of minutes with post-match reaction. we're back live at Shanahan McNamara Park here in Dunbeg, and we're joined by the player of the match, Niamh O'Dea, and one of the Banner Ladies management team, JJ O'Dea. Niamh, first of all, you're hungry all over the field.
Yeah, look, I suppose this year, with COVID and everything, just glad to get back. But look, there's a tremendous group of girls behind me there, and the hunger and work rate of training, everything, it's just been absolutely tremendous this year especially. And look, it's glad to be back, and I suppose they were all saying poke the bear, so look, the bear's awake now, I suppose. So
You were very, very impressive in an attacking sense, but you were equally good at the back, and you didn't concede any, let alone a goal, not even goal opportunities, aside from the very first attack.
yeah, I suppose look, there's 15 of us on the field. All 15 girls are worth their salt there, so like no matter where you play them, every girl there, wherever they're asked to go, they just go and do a job. And that's what I suppose this year that team is, that you're asked to do a job. No matter where it is, that's where you're put, and that's the job you're going to do. And everyone does it to the best of their ability. And you saw it there today that everyone is fighting for that jersey. And look, superb performance. So proud of the girls behind me. Just an absolutely brilliant day.
And just a very last thing, Niamh, before we talk to JJ, this time last year it was a very low feeling, complete opposite right at this moment.
Yeah, well, look, it's complete opposite. I suppose look, that's the way sport is. It's ups and downs. You can't win them all. But look, I'd rather feel like this than I did last year. So look, we'll go and enjoy it, and hopefully we'll be back in next year.
Thanks indeed to Niamh O'Dea, the Channel Clare player of the game. JJ, you must be very proud of that team performance, because that's what it was. I mean, from start to finish, aside from the first attack where West Clare Gaels did have a goal opportunity, you were superb.
Well, we knew that from the word go that any chance they'd have to go for a score early on, that'd be kind of a tactical move, and do it at the start or do it at half time, you get me? But this is coming since this day last year, we were hurt here this day last year, and we went away that day. I know finals are finals, but when you rule one, it's a lonely place to be. But we were hurt, and a hurt man is a dangerous man. So we came back this year stronger, but definitely down to the management team and the players. We brought in a girl this year, Orla Kilkenny. I can't praise her highly enough. She has a button on the pulse, and every girl has her name off the first night, and she didn't know him, So Orla Kilkenny is the player that has brought us together again, and she's kind of half replacing our Michael McKinley.
And actually, it must be quite emotional for you as well, JJ. Remembering Michael at this particular moment.
Well, he was looking down the same. If Michael was here, he'd be a happy man, and he's a West Clare man, but he was a Banner man too, he loves coming back here to the West, and he loved his own club, Nevon, and he always looking over the Nevon junior football team and the intermediate football team when they were playing Cliff North, and he was always asking me, and we had great old chats about it, But Michael will be remembered here. He was a big loss to our club, but he'll always be remembered.
JJ, just before I hand over to the Clare Ladies chairman, David O'Brien, for a presentation, you're obviously very, very proud. And it's, as saying to Niamh, this time last year, you were feeling very low, opposite feeling as you speak now.
Well, you have to be proud of that group of players there, with about 30 players on the panel there. I'd be proud of every one of them, and they'd never let you down. And as I said before, county finals are meant to be won, and it's a lonely place when you lose one.
I'm going to hand over now to the Clare Ladies chairperson, David O'Brien, for the presentation of the Cup. David.
Thanks, Peter. First and foremost, it just echoes JJ's words about Michael and Kieran. So, again, it's an inter day here on Clare FM, or on our county finals day. Just to Monica to present the player of the match trophy to Niamh O'Dea, please. She's shy, David. She's shy. So well done to Niamh. Again, like I said, it's the second game of the afternoon. Two great games in store for us today. The weather, everything was played its part for us. So we're really happy today. Channel Clare, Michal here in front of me on social media. And we have Paul Collins and the guys around as well. So great to see the publicity, great to see it all for everyone. To West Clare Gaels, I don't know what to say. Just back in the final, but they'll keep going, keep trying. They're not going to give up, and they will be back, I'd say. No problem to them. To Banner Ladies, I said it after our game in the semi-final, an excellent team, but it takes an excellent team to actually come back and do it again. So my hat's off to you. Well done, girls. Again, it's just been an emotional year for everyone, I suppose, the year that's passed. to be playing football, I suppose, and to be playing it at 5:45 on a Sunday evening in Doonbeg, you can't really beat it. So thanks to Michael, the officials, thanks to Doonbeg and to everyone. To Granny Nolan, she come up here, please. Granny, I don't know what we're going to do with it. You saw it before.
It hasn't been easy due to obviously the circumstances, and without everyone that's been involved, to County Board, to Doonbeg with the pitch, and to match officials, referees, to our COVID officers who volunteered their time to do like all the background stuff and all the paperwork, to Doherty and Henchy who have taken on that role. I suppose without the two of you, this club wouldn't be standing the way it is today. So so a huge thanks to Doherty and Henchy. Thanks for doing all that background stuff every day with all the health questionnaires and everything. So thanks a million. To our management, I suppose it's very easy to take on a team who have been winning every year, but to take us on after last year, it shows you have great faith in us. And I'd just like to mention JJ, Keane, Dad and Orla. Orla came on board with us this year, and it's been great to have a new voice in with us, and the training has been great, so it's great to have a new voice in, and thanks William for giving up your time for the few months, and hopefully we'll be back again next year. Girls, I'd just like to say a huge thanks to you. I suppose after last year, the hunger that you showed back in January to go back training, it's very easy to come training every week when every girl is showing up, and we're just willing to play, and we're a great bunch of girls. So shout out to the three oldies. I'm not going to mention them, but they have to stay on for another few years. They're not allowed to retire yet. Yeah. I suppose earlier on this year, over the last year, we've lost two great Clare men. So I'd just like to shout out to Kieran Harvey and our own Mick McInerney. I'm sure they'll be looking down on us today and very proud of the performance that we showed today. And just lastly, I'd like to finish up with Western Gaels. You're a very young team. You showed great potential. The scoreline did not reflect that game there today. It was a tough battle from the word go, and I have no doubt in my heart that you'll be back again next year and in years to come. So I'd just like to finish off with 3 cheers to Western Gaels. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
And that's just about it from the county finals here in Doonbeg. The senior final won emphatically by West Clare Gaels, and of course Kilmurray Bricken won the intermediate county final. Thanks to everyone who helped us out, particularly the Clare Ladies Football County Board, all 4 clubs, and of course our sponsors this afternoon and last weekend as well at the Camogie, Clare County Council and Visit Clare. So from everyone here on the Channel Clare team in Doonbeg, good evening and thanks indeed for viewing everything today.
The gaze of Loophead Lighthouse illuminates the county, so while ships are steered to safety, on land it reveals a bounty. The cliffs of Moor, Fenora Beach, Vandelore Gardens, 9 blue flag beaches, by foot or bike or car, entirely within reach. And it's all there, in Clare. And the beams of Loophead Lighthouse brighten the wild Atlantic way. Bees pollinate the heather, offshore dolphins jump and play. Bunratty banquets unique style, a multitude of caves, the Holy Isle, 100,000 welcomes, hospitality with a smile, not to mention more than 7,500 archaeological sites. Sure, it's all there, in Clare. The wonders of Loophead Lighthouse shines down upon the banner, home of Brian Boru and Cuchulainn too, O'Connell, Cusack and Dev's old manor. The burn where nature does unfold, Poolin a Brone Dolmen more than 5,000 years old. Within Ireland's hidden heartlands where stories are still told, the freshest food served hot and cold, it's all there, in Clare. For the county town of Ennis or a village beside the sea, from ancient native woodlands with such bird life in the trees, a stillness comes upon you. As the time begins to slow, it even inspired the submarine that below the waters go. So whether for culture or for history, or the perfect place to rest, when the time is right, enjoy the sights with hospitality at its best. All under the gaze of Loophead Lighthouse. And it's all there in Clare. Find out more at visitclare.ie.
Well, we try and cater for almost all age brackets, and you know, we have some of the best brands in the world within the walls of the shop. Anything from Boss down to Ted Baker, through to Tommy Hilfiger, right down to G-Star, Super Dry, Tommy Bow as a local brand. Yeah, so we have a cross section of price ranges and a good cross section of brands.